is just heartbreaking, heartbreaking, heartbreaking. So, little boy named Michael Vaughan, his family lovingly called him Monkey, went missing on July 27th of 2021. About a month and a half, 6 weeks or so after Summer Wells went missing in Tennessee. This little boy named Michael Vaughan went missing from Fruitland, Idaho. In that, we all wondered, what happened? What happened? Well, now the affidavit is out after the arrest. There have been confessions. This story is absolutely heartbreaking. It's the only word. It's despicable what these individuals have done. So let's just start with who Michael is. He's so cute. He's got these little blue eyes. He's got blonde hair. He's 5 years old, right, at the time. And his mom is at work. And his mom is Brandy. She has fought and advocated with everything she has, to the point she's almost lost her own life and had to have a liver transplant to find her son, Michael Monkey Vaughan. She adored him, still does, and has been through the worst nightmare a mother could possibly go through. I don't know how she has maintained without losing her sanity, because this is just, it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. So I'm going to use the GOAT. We are live. Welcome to a Level 11 True Crime. My face is small because we're going to be reading a lot of documents down here. Nikki UK says, for Michael's family and loved ones. Right. Trigger warning. This is very disturbing. So Michael was in a little suburb in Fruitland, Idaho. He had a little brother, a little baby brother, that his dad was changing, and Tyler, the father, is in charge of the kids, and Monkey is told to stay in the yard, but Michael Monkey Vaughan goes knocking on neighbors' doors while Dad's in the house, and he knocks on quite a few neighbor doors, and then he's never seen on any cam again. He's never seen again. So I've got the entire scenario of what allegedly took place, because the PCA has been released in the Stacy and Sarah Wandra in their cases. So who are they? They were a married couple that lives 3 blocks away, maybe 4. You'd have to go up and take a left and so forth. We'll get a map and we'll look at it. And they're a disturbing couple. They're disturbing. This whole thing with Monkey could have been completely avoided, but there is evil and wickedness that walks among us and breathes our air. And Stacy and Sarah Wandra had a couple of men living with them, young men, and they all were doing unsortly things to try to make money. Sarah and Stacy also have criminal pasts for theft, and they do scandalous things, right? They're just not good folk. I'm trying to get through this. This is really hard. So I'm going to just jump into the background. We're going to go over the surveillance movement before the abduction. We're going to get into the sequence of events that allegedly took place inside the Wandra residence. We're going to be talking about how they moved Monkey and took him, and where they went, and their own confessions and corroborations, as well as supporting digital and forensic evidence, their legal charges, and basically a summary and a conclusion as to what we believe to be true. And then we'll have a little map time so you can see the neighborhood. So take a good look at little Monkey Vaughan there. He is so sweet. And he is 5 at the time. 5. And lonely and wanting to play. So he went knocking on different neighbors' doors. He was missing for, a little while before Dad's like, wait a minute, I don't have Michael. And Tyler called 911. So let's go ahead, say hello to a few people. Hi, Carla. Thank you for being here in support of Michael. Jennyville, Liam, Rach, Jennifer, Allison, Nikki, okay, Liam, that girl, all of you. Hey, Viv. Yeah, this could trigger you. Hi, Connie Branch. Hello and welcome to the channel. Disturbing, very disturbing, right, Carla? You think that they saw Monkey walking and picked him up? Just your guess. Even if your kid goes to a neighbor's house, you still think that they're going to be okay. Oh, thank you, Crystal Burns. I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. Hi, Crystal Stars. Good to see you. Anna D, good to see you. Hey, Trina Dunlap. All right, let's get into this. Let me get back onto chat. Cheryl saying it's awful. Poor baby. All right, deep breath, you guys. Let's get into this. It's hard because this is heartbreaking. I won't be able to see chat very much, so bear that in mind. But we're going to go here. Now, this is a big shout out to crimetimelines.com, who do case coverage and bring the summaries together. That way we can share them to you. This is the Michael Vaughan case, who was 5 years old. What we believe we know. Background. On the evening of July 27, 2021, 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughan, I'm going to add Monkey, disappeared from his neighborhood in Fruitland, Idaho. He was last seen riding not his, but a big flyer tricycle. Not his. It says his. I don't believe that's to be true at all. You'll see why. He was last seen riding a big flyer tricycle near Red Wing Street and Meadowlark Avenue, only a short distance from his home on Southeast 9th Street. So we're going to scroll down real quick and we're going to get an idea of where everybody lives, okay? So this is Fruitland, Idaho, and we're going to get into the neighborhood here. Now, I'm not going to give addresses or nothing like that. But if, let me see where it is. Is this it? Nope. Okay, we're just going to say in this, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to dox the actual address. Okay. So somewhere in this area, one of these houses is where Michael Monkey Vaughan lives, right? On the Southwest 9th Street. So this is where he starts, and this is where the Wanderers, Sandra and Sarah, the names just kill me, but yeah, Stacy and Sarah, sorry. Stacy and Sarah, which are the Wanderer couple, plus there's 2 others that are living with them, live in this area here, and that's a Wanderer address, and the cadaver dog still are there too. So if you look, it's literally like 1, 2, 3. We'll kind of go 4. Or I guess we would go 4. Like a 5-block thing between them. All right. Let's get back up here and continue on. Now, I won't be jumping back and forth on the map the whole time, but I wanted you to understand where we're talking. Despite immediate searches by family, neighbors, Fruitland police, Payette County deputies, and the FBI, no trace of Michael was found that night. Surveillance footage later reviewed by investigators showed multiple persons of interest moving through the area during the same hour that Michael vanished. Among them were Stacy and Sarah Wanderer, Brandon Shirtliff, which was one of them that's living with them, and Adrian Lewinsky. I have a hard time with his name, so I'll just say Adrian. They lived with the Wanderers, all of whom resided or were staying at the Wanderers' home located on Southeast 8th Street, within walking distance of where Michael was last seen. Surveillance and movement before the abduction. According to the neighborhood cameras and cell data recovered by the FBI Cellular Analysis Surveillance Team, Stacy Wanderer, the male, the husband, was recorded driving a white Lexus sedan into the area near the splash pad on Southwest 8th Street at 3:23 p.m. He exited the vehicle and attempted to open another car's door. Okay, he went around to the passenger side and tried to open it to see if it was locked, and then got back in his vehicle. He tried to see if he could open it. Now, the splash pad is a community park, which is all for kids to play on and so forth. And we can kind of get that right here. So this is the splash pad. You can see the little circle there, and you can also see it right here on the map, the little splash pad. That is not very far from Michael's house, because Michael lives right here, right? Let me see if I can get them both in the same screen. It's sensitive. So from here is where Michael is. This is the splash pad, right? Now, if you look right here on this Cornwall Way, this little curve, is where Stacy Wanderer, the husband, gets out and tries to open the passenger door, then returns to the driver's seat and drives away. So that's at 3-something, 3 hours before Michael's even reported missing. That's strange, right? Let's go back up. I should have broke that out separately so we didn't have to jump back and forth. By 5:08 p.m., surveillance info data places Sarah Wanderer, Brendan Shirtliff, and Adrian Lucy driving together in Sarah's blue Toyota Corolla, but not Stacy. So it's the wife, Sarah, and the 2 men living with her. They're all together in Sarah's blue Toyota Corolla at 5:08, and they leave the neighborhood for whatever reason, and this is all before Michael goes missing. They return at 5:56 p.m. and remain in the area for 2 hours. Now, originally, Sarah said they didn't get back at that time, that they got back much later, that they weren't even in the area when Michael went missing, which was a complete lie, and digitally, they're trapped because they're in the area. Between 6 p.m. and 6:25, here's the first eyewitness. A witness reports seeing Michael walking and riding a trike, keep that in mind, near Red Wing and Meadowlark, knocking on doors and asking to play with children. This is the final verified sighting before his disappearance. The sequence. All right. this is where it gets hard. I'm just taking a minute. I know I'm buffering. I don't know why. Sequence inside the Wandra home. So there's 4 people. And we know that both of those men were there with the wife and the husband, Sarah and Stacy Wandra, because one of them even took a selfie in the bathroom at the Wandra home at the exact same time that is in question when Michael was missing. So he tried to lie and say he wasn't there. The selfie proves otherwise. Again, digital footprint. According to this report, it says, Stacy, in his recorded statement provided to investigators on November 10th of 2022, while incarcerated in the Washington County Jail, Stacy Wandra, the husband, described the events of that evening in detail. Now, we're not privy to a lot of it. This is just skimming the surface. He said that after Michael was last seen outside, Sarah, his wife, brought the boy into the home, carried him inside through the front door, and sat him on their couch. Stacy, the male, recalled that little Michael was crying and appeared to be very confused and scared. According to Stacy, the husband, Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian then placed duct tape over his mouth, bound him, and forced him into a duffel bag. He stated that Michael was still struggling and crying as they did this, and that shortly afterwards the boy went silent. He told investigators Stacy he was crying, then he stopped. Stacy admitted to witnessing this entire act. He said he was overwhelmed and nauseated, as he described this to the investigators, he began to vomit while talking about visually seeing all this. After they have secured the situation, at 7:08 p.m., neighborhood surveillance captures Sarah, the wife, driving a maroon GMC pickup truck, leaving the subdivision. Stacy sat in the front passenger seat, the husband, so the wife's driving. Stacy's a passenger. And Brandon Shirtliff was seated in the rear driver's seat. Their phones were all co-located and moving together toward Kuna, Idaho. Adrian was not with them. His phone and later photographs confirmed that he remained at the Wandra home. The selfie in the bathroom. That's why we know. Stacy made the comment, or the claim, as he told investigators, "We stopped to check the bag. We heard a dull scream," he said. Now hold on. Right here, as you can see, let me get it bigger. I said is where Michael Monkey Vaughan is now being reported missing at his home, right here. If we were to fly like a crow diagonally, we would come over here to this briefcase light, which tells you at 7:08 p.m., the duffel bag was checked on Southwest 8th Street and South Arizona Street. And this is where Stacy reports right here that Michael would have still been alive at that point, kitty cornered from his home at 7:08. Okay. I'm just like, what? Stacy reported that Sarah and Brandon both touched or opened the duffel bag during the stop. Sorry, guys. Let me fix this. Well, you don't see it, but I do. I blocked what I'm trying to read. Stacy reported that Sarah and Brandon both touched and opened the duffel bag during the stop, and that Michael did not respond audibly afterwards. So they opened the duffel bag. Trip to Kuna. Stacy told detectives that the group then drove approximately 35 miles southeast to Kuna, Idaho, arriving at the home of Brandon's mother. There, he said, Brandon carried the duffel bag inside his mother's residence. Stacy did not state whether anyone else was present. He claimed that the next day, Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian returned to Fruitland and buried Michael's body in the Wanderer backyard near the shed, while Stacy remained in the home. On November 10th, 2022, Stacy also placed a phone call from the jail to his mother, Tamara Johnson. During that call, he said Sarah accidentally killed him. When his mother asked how, Stacy replied, suffocation. They buried him in a duffel bag. Investigators documented this phone call and compared it to Stacy's earlier recorded statement. The details matched, including the method of restraint, the use of duct tape, and the reference to the duffel bag. During this confession, Fruitland Police and Idaho State Police executed a search warrant at the Wanderer residence on November 12th, 2022. Just so you know, today is November 11th of 2025. 3 years ago and 1 day. 5 cadaver dogs alerted in the same area of the backyard near the shed where Stacy claimed the body had been buried. So the dogs were indeed alerting. 5 different dogs. The ground displayed freshly filled soil and new sod, though extensive excavation did not uncover any remains. During the search, Sarah Wanderer made several unsolicited statements, such as, quote, I definitely did not kill that boy. Quote, God told me Stacy was the one who killed him. Quote, he buried him in the backyard by the shed. Cellular analysis confirmed that Sarah, Stacy, and Brandon's phones traveled together from Fruitland toward Kuna between 7:08 p.m. and 8:00 p.m., then back toward Fruitland later that night. So they said they came back the next day, but it was later that night. Video surveillance from neighborhood cameras confirmed both the GMC's 7:08 p.m. departure and its return at 11:22 p.m., towing a silver Mercedes. Canine units during the initial 2021 search had previously tracked Michael's scent directly to the Wanderer's property and down into a wooded bluff behind it, matching the area where the trike and a stroller were found later. Remember the Hot Wheel, the big wheel? Witnesses Kim Elko had seen a pink... Hold on a minute. Let me go find out why I've got them barking. I'll be right back. Hold on. Are they going to quit? I think somebody's just walking by. That's enough. Mama's working. Mama working, no barking. Canine units during the initial 2021 search had previously tracked Michael's scent directly to the Wanderer property and down into the wooded bluff behind it, matching the area where the trike, remember, They had a witness that saw Michael on a trike. The trike's very important. And a stroller were later found. Witness Kim Elko had seen a pink Big Flare tricycle inside the Wanderer garage in spring of 2021, which was a garage sale. And she was able to describe the interior. It doesn't say this, but I know this. The witness was able to describe the interior of the garage, including boxes and where the trike had been sitting. When the police went back to the Wanderer garage, the boxes were still there, sitting in that same position, so they know. And that same trike was later recovered near the bluff. Based on the totality of the evidence, Detective Juanita Keller of the Fruitland Police Department filed a probable cause affidavit on June 25th of 2025, resulting in the following charges against Stacy James Wanderer, the husband: first-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, destruction, alteration, and concealment of evidence. The affidavit firmly identifies cause of death as suffocation and states that the fatal act occurred between 6:25 p.m. and 7:08 p.m. on July 27th. The summary is that at 6:25 p.m., Michael is last seen riding his trike near Red Wing and Meadowlark. Let's go look at that. So, let me get it over here. So, we've got this. It says Meadowlark. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. Did I read it wrong? Meadowlark. Oh, I'm blind. Right here. Meadowlark. Okay? And what was the other one? Meadowlark. I have a short-term memory problem here. Red Wing. Okay, so here's Meadowlark. Where's Red Wing? Why do I not see Red Wing? I don't know where Red Wing is. Well, maybe they've changed that name since they made this. I'm at a loss. But here is Meadowlark. Meadowlark right here. So, oh, here, look. Is it? It's marked, Joe. Monkey. Boy, stop. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get him and shut the curtain. I don't know if it'll help because they can move the curtain, but maybe. All right, you guys. So, right there on that corner. Now, remember, this right here, this red dot, is where the Wanderer's property is. Right here is where Monkey's last seen, by this bike right here. Okay. So, that was at 6:25 p.m. At 6:45 p.m., Michael is brought into the Wanderer home, placed on the couch, bound, and sealed in a duffel bag. At 7:08, the Wanderers and Brandon leave the neighborhood in the maroon GMC. At 7:10, they briefly stop near Southwest 8th and South Arizona, just a block away from Michael's home, to check the duffel bag, and that's the last they hear any noise, they claim. 7:45 to 8 o'clock p.m., the group arrives at Brandon's mother's house in Kuna with the duffel bag. 11:22, the GMC returns to Fruitland, towing the Mercedes, but Stacy claimed they returned the next morning. Michael's body is allegedly buried near the Wanderer's shed. Now, at some point, because I believe that it was Sarah that actually did this, like the physical moment, I think she was the one, because she said she broke all 10 commandments, including thou shalt not kill. So, in conclusion, according to the affidavit, Michael Vaughan's abduction and death and concealment were deliberate and coordinated actions carried out within a 43-minute window on the evening of his missing July 27, 2021. The statements of Stacy Wanderer, Sarah Wanderer, and corroborating digital evidence established the crime sequence, location, and participants. Although no remains have yet been recovered, the affidavit concludes there is probable cause to believe that Michael Joseph Vaughan was abducted, suffocated, and concealed by the named suspects beginning inside the Wanderer residence on Southwest 8th Street and extended to Kuna, Idaho. Now, something you ought to know as well. Stacy, during this time that Michael was missing and wasn't saying anything, set up a GoFundMe. Sarah did. Did I say Stacy? Let me make sure. Sarah. She also set up a GoFundMe. Now, none of what I'm about to read you is true at all. This is the kind of person she is. Remember, she's got first-degree murder charge, too, not just her husband. Says, help to those who can't help themselves. She raised $100, but by $100 from Betty J. Blackman. You need to get your money back, Betty. All right. So it was set up by Sarah Wanderer, Fruitland, Idaho, right? This is what she wrote. I help people in Africa, especially Kenya and Uganda. I feed a whole orphanage who not only need the food, but also need some material to rebuild their space, as over 20 people are living in one room. I also help people here in our community in the United States, hard down on life, be witnessed to for Jesus. And also find sometimes a place to stay, like a hotel or way out of town people who get stuck here. If you want to be part of helping others get their lives together, please feel free to contribute. It also goes directly to different situations, etc., that is in time of need. I also help local animal shelters find money to help animals that are abandoned, etc. You really never know who God is going to lead you to help. So that's just what I do. I help anyone God leads me to help. Now, let's get back up here for a minute. They also ran their business, was like Uber in a way. It was really, really weird. It was really, really creepy. And I'm surprised more victims didn't happen. So it was called Faith Taxi Service. Yeah. Sarah wrote a couple things. Hi, this is Sarah Wanderer, owner of Faith Taxis LLC in Fruitland, Idaho. We're going to be rapidly growing. So please, if you have a car or in a Treasure Valley, even all the way to Boise, I'm going to be needing possible part-time drivers for now. Work on your own availability, use your own car, keep your own proceeds, $10.99. Be your own boss in a sense. We work a bit differently around here than your typical taxi. Please, no messages on this post about the job. If you want to inquire, please call Sarah directly. No text, only calls on this matter. No one gets approved without Sarah's approval to drive, although she is very fair. Have a nice day. And it's Sarah posting it, saying how fair she is. It's absurd. Let me see if I can get out of this. And this is all about her turning to God. She went from 11 posts to over 300 posts after Monkey went missing. They've sold their vehicles, had them cleaned professionally, and sold them. They had 3 phones in 3 months or something like that. They had moving boxes so that they could move. And they were talking, there were messages between them that were all about wanting to move away together, right? Now, this was her brother, and he allegedly abused Sarah when she was little and did her really, really bad. There's one of their dogs. You can see Sarah holding the Bible there. It's crazy. So we have this going all, I mean, this person goes really in depth on Sarah, everything from the time she was born. And I did read that. So please check out Crime Timelines, Key Evidence Chain. So the big pink flare trike seen in Wander Garage spring of 2021 went missing after July 27th and was found August 5th near the stroller, basically behind the Wanderer Garage. Okay, canine scent track from Meadowlark and Red Wing to the Wanderer front door, down to the bluff where they found that stroller. And then they find this guy that says he found that trike by the stroller there. He took it, but then he changed his mind, so he just put it out for the kids to play with. Dorothy, the witness that saw Michael on the trike, that's concerning because she's, from my understanding, is an RSO. Her and her husband, which are the Wanderer's neighbors. Adrian Luceny had no GPS data. In fact, he gave Stacy's, the husband of Sarah, phone number as his own. And Adrian also, if I've got the 2 men correct here, yeah, Adrian also refused to give a social security number. I mean, you'll just have to go through. There's so much here. I don't want to, take you through every detail. There's a lot here. There's a lot. So I will tell you that Tyler realized that Monkey was missing at 6:45 to 6:50 p.m. And by 7:08, while Michael was in a tote in their vehicle, sitting a block away, Tyler was frantically, desperately trying to find his 5-year-old son. So 7:21, Tyler finally called 911, and the rest is history. Susan Sivia says, and they were getting away with it when he could have been saved. Yeah. Yeah, they're different. This is just... RSO is a registered, actual say, in Pig Latin, offender. Yeah, good point, Carla. Sarah, no. Lord God, forgive me please. Sarah, the perpetrator, alleged perpetrator, had Michael Vaughan's posters, missing posters, on her fridge. On her fridge. Yeah, maybe she did donate her own money. They must have duct tape both nose and mouth. Sorry. Okay. Not necessarily, you guys. Because it can be positional asphyxiation, which I suspect may have occurred over in the Lily and Jack Sullivan case with Jack, but I could be wrong. But if the child is compressed, right, and this is called if he's compressed and his head is bent and so forth, he just can't get enough air. Okay, I'm just so, this just is, it's so much. They were going to sell the child, allegedly. And I believe there was more to it than them just abducting him. They were going to traffic. Is there a link? Let me grab it for you. I got a copy of it, and I'll make sure and put that link down after the video's over. I'll add it to the down below, posted, pinned in the comments. It shocks me that anybody could be that horrific. Yeah, they were planning on making money. That's the whole idea of it, is they claimed that they had this brilliant idea. And the thing is Brandon is seen before a monkey is reported missing out by the splash pad and then walking through this little neck of the woods there, kitty corner, to get to the Wanderer property. Like, he's out roaming, Brandon, before Michael is reported missing. So what's he doing out there? Well, they questioned him. And he said, helping look for the little boy. The problem is, the little boy had not been reported missing, and the only way Brandon would know about that is if he was the one that took the boy. You feel me? So yeah, this is a really, really, really good site. And if you do have information, you can contact the FBI right here on this site. And I will definitely put that link down below in my video. So it's just heartbreaking. Make money how? They were going to sell him? Yeah, that's what they had intended. I believe Brandon was the one that took the child. I believe that their plan was to kidnap a child. That's why they went to the splash pad where there's a lot of kids with no parents. And before Michael was even missing, because they were literally scouting to prey on an innocent. Allison says the action they took straight away with the tape to quiet him while they transported him to someone. No, they're not all in prison. There's still 2 out there, and they're going to have to get them. Good question, Spunky. Brandon and Adrian are still not arrested that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please do. Oh, I get it. I get it, Louise. Right. Right. I don't know why there's no urgency, because if they would do it once, who's to say that they haven't done it again? We have a lot of missing kids on this planet, and they're evil. I do think that. I think that they left the area. I do not believe that Monkey passed away without suffering more damage before being put in that duffel bag. I believe there was more damage to it. I think that because they're only going to give us just enough in the PC to get an arrest, that later we're going to learn much, much more. And I'm terrified of that. They are discussing excuses for humanity. They're not even humane. We can't even call them part of society or humanity, because there's no humanity in what took place. None. Aw, thank you, Rach. Thank you, lovely. If you'd be so kind to support the channel, please hit like. I appreciate that. And if you sub up, I greatly love that. And if you hype it up after we're live, you rock. You rock, you rock. Well, that's a good question, Allison. Who's to say they haven't done this before? It's just freaking me out. I can't imagine it, you know, as a child from the generation that I came from. Aw, there's a little kitten in the road. Why is it in the road? It's a mama and a baby kitten. Get out of the road. Oh, there's a bunch of little kittens. She brought her kittens out. I wish I could show you. She brought her kittens out. She took them out into the road. Okay, they're off the road now. They're in the old house over here. Sorry, squirrel, cat. It's just, back in the day when we were kids, we didn't even come in till the street lights came on. As they say, I lived with my grandma when I was, after I turned 5, I lived with my grandma. And she knew where I was at all times. She really knew where I was. There's no doubt. But at the same time, I walked to my friend's house alone and back, which was quite a few houses down and across the street. And it could have been any kid that got picked up at any time. So why now are we getting these crazy people? Neroli, complete cream. Do you think it was an accident that they lost him? I mean, they're not the brightest bulbs in the package. It's possible that they did not intend to kill him, but intended to sell him. However, I'm wondering if they panicked. Like they panicked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, never take your eyes off your kids. Never take your eyes off your kids. Sounds too easy for them to act without experience. Well, I don't know if it would have happened with another child, and here's why. Sarah loses her mind after Monkey goes missing. Like, legit, she was crazy before. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying, she went holier than thou. She was out standing on the side of the road. Oh, we're going to get a delivery. The dogs are going to go off. She was standing on the side of the road with a sign saying, confess your sins, repent to Jesus. And she's crazy as a loon. Like, she was crazy before this, but she got really wildly crazy. And I'm not just talking a little bit. I'm talking major, like off the chain. No, Viv, you're not in timeout. We see you, lovely. Yes, you got to be careful how you say that. YouTube might have timed you out. I didn't, and our mods didn't. Carla says Brandon and Adrian are on jail as of yesterday. Okay, so the two guys are in jail. One is in jail for probation violation. The other one is jail for theft of a vehicle. I saw it on Justin's last night. Oh, good, good, good. I didn't know that. Didn't know that. So they're all in jail. I don't know. It sucked the wind out of me hearing this. You know, you fight so hard to know the truth. We just want to know where the child is, though. You know, and this is the scariest part. Now, Stacy has talked about Brandon's mom's house. There's the delivery. Stacy Wandra, the husband, has talked about Brandon's mom's house that they visited. On the way home, they do not take the same route home to Fruitland on that night that Monkey's missing from Brandon's that they took to get there. No, they drive a completely different way, and they drive through a junkyard, a salvage yard. Or no, landfill. That's what it was, a landfill. They drive and they stop the car across the street from the landfill. Now here's the thing. Did they dump the body there, bring back something? Like, that's where the duffel bag and Michael may have went. And then, did they have other evidence that was around that bag that still had Michael's scent on it, that they buried in the backyard? Like the toy that Michael was holding was buried in the backyard, and that could be why the cadaver's dogs hit there, and that's why Sarah, the wife's dog, was digging holes in the backyard right where the cadaver dogs hit, because that stuffed animal's ear was found there. So I think the only thing, this is my personal view, the only thing that was buried in the backyard, I believe, is the toy that Michael was using. I think the duffel bag and Michael disappeared on their way back from Kuna to Fruitland when Stacy pulled the car over across the street from that landfill. That's just my theory. I hope I'm wrong. Exactly, Louise. She's the one that needs to repent. She said God forgave her and Hitler. That's what she said. And Hitler. I kid you not. Yeah, she's projecting. She's... Allison says, think the religious aspect was a cover-up to throw off how sick they are and what type of behavior they were into. Neroli says, OMG, I didn't know that they stopped at a landfill on the way back. Wow, I keep learning new stuff. Yeah. Stacy told about it. He said that they pulled over because he had to fill the power steering fluid. Really? How many times you gotta put power steering fluid into your vehicle? But that's the one time right next to the landfill, and you happen to have a passed away person, a child no less, in your vehicle, and you gotta pull over at the landfill so you can put in power steering fluid. I don't think so. They've known it all along. It is truly disturbing. Boys, why are you being so grumpy? Be nice. Yeah, you can't put that. Yeah, YouTube will take it away. And if you keep doing it, YouTube will take you away. So don't do it. Don't do it. Now they want to play. Well, before the boys get too big and... Oh, I'm buffering through this whole thing, aren't I? I have no idea why I'm buffering. Let me see if I can try to get it going again. Okay, I'm trying. So that is what I have for you. The PCA is out. Now you know a little bit more, and so do I. I'm just sick for Brandy, the mother, who it's like more and more grisly details keep coming out. And the one thing that this woman needs the most, and her and Monkey's family needs the most, we still don't have, which is Monkey returned to his family so that he can be laid to rest, so that they have a place to come visit Monkey, so that he's back with the family, right? I am too, Louise. Hey, for real, good to see you. Just shows she feels sick with the crime she committed was as bad as what Hitler did. Right. Right. All okay? Okay. Not buffering? All right, my lovelies. That's what I have for you today. I have an appointment this afternoon with my young men. They're so handsome, right? I am surrounded by gorgeous men. They're my children. But we're going to go to spend some time with my mother, visit her. The boys would like to see her. And yeah, she's my real mother. Same one that abandoned me, but she's not the same person. Like, she's mentally ill, so she doesn't even remember it. And the kids don't really know the whole story. So, but they love their grandma, and they want to go see her. And so I'm gonna go visit her. I mean, Viv, that's the hardest part. When you're dealing with somebody that could commit these crimes, how do you know if you're telling the truth or if they're lying? Like Viv says. Did he really pass, or did they sell him? And that's the sad part in not having a burial, right? No closure, no answers that way. I love you guys. I truly do. I pray for Michael Vaughan's family, Brandy, right? I pray for Brandy and all of her family and loved ones that love Little Monkey. I pray for them that the truth will be fully revealed and be done and out there for her. We don't need to know, but that she knows that Michael is found. And I pray that with our Lord Jesus' precious name. Amen. I know it sucked the wind on me today to cover this case, but we've been on it since the beginning, and we have to follow through with all the hard details, right? God bless you too, Carla. I know I have felt nauseous all day. The fact that, you know, Stacy was vomiting while giving his confession. There's way more to this, and I don't even... Right? That's a lot to take in. So, I will see you again very, very soon. I love you to the moon and back. If you are looking for special gifts, I added an amazing amount of new lovely things inside my shop. And that's a great way to show your support on the channel, as well as I keep them affordable. And you can get free shipping. Find out how. Let me put the little name up there at the top. Where is it? There it is. Kind of cuts the top of my head off. All right, my lovelies, I will see you again very soon. Love you to the moon and back.